So, number 5 on my most underappreciated in the top 5. Someone that's near and dear to my heart. He's another Pittsburgh native, and that is Mac Miller.
Mm. I'll buy
I
it.
feel, yeah, I feel like Mac Miller is somebody that truly showed
Rest in peace.
a wide variety of music while he was alive, and he put his heart and soul into the music, and he was very well respected by others, but I think he'll never really be in a lot of people's top 5s or top 10s in the next 20 years, unfortunately, because I feel like he had yet to really showcase what he was capable of doing.
For me, Dom Kennedy. I think
Oh.
I
he's.
fuck with that. I
think
with that.
I think Dom Kennedy is.
I personally don't know enough about him.
criminally underrated, dude. So let's see. We Ball featuring Kendrick. That was 10 years ago at this point. Like he's one of those guys. He's if you lived in like Southern California, LA, like you fucked with him heavy. Like the same way you probably fucked with like Mac or Wiz if you were from Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? So people know him there. Like that again. That's that balance I like, where it's like in Southern California, Dom Kennedy probably could walk into anywhere he needs to, and he even raps about it in a couple songs. He's like, I think he says, what do you know about handshakes from the branch managers or your picture on the wall at the dealership? Like, so he's kind of that local, he's almost that local legend vibe, but the production, the sound, the music's always been on point. So songs I would recommend by him, obviously My Type of Party probably his biggest hit, if everyone's heard the My Type of
I've
Party.
heard that one.
Double Up with Nipsey. I think you put me on that.
Man,
I
that's a
mean,
bang.
Yeah, that's a good
The
one.
video's sick too.
and then also just quick line. Oh, I Like That is probably my favorite song by him, but he's got a line in that Kendrick song. He goes, "Your bitch fixing her makeup in my rims."
Oh,
Dude,
that's
come
hard.
on. How do you not love that?
That's a
How
bar.
do you
That's a
not
bar
love
right
that?
there.
Yeah. So Dom Kennedy, definitely underrated or underappreciated for me.
Nice. All right, man, that's good. For my number 5 most underappreciated hip hop artist, I'm going to the Midwest, the founder of the Saint Lunatics. I'm talking about Nelly.
Oh, that's
Nelly,
crazy, bro.
underrated.
Ah, damn. I'm gonna have to-
Underappreciated.
Here's why I say that, right?
Damn,
Okay,
dog.
I dare somebody to tell me that they didn't listen to Nelly in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? And what does Jay even say in one of his songs? He says, only dudes moving units is M, Pimp Juice, and us, right? So, a lot of people, underappreciated. Some people may agree, may not. I just feel like he's on my underappreciated list because he's not talked
He's on
about enough.
mine.
Is he's on yours,
Oh,
Jersey?
wow.
He was my
that's
number. He
awesome.
was my number 1.
Oh, wow. All right.
Nelly's
That was
So,
number
see?
one.
So
Yeah.
my number one's gonna be there, but I just want to say before we move on from Nelly, like, look, like,
I'm gonna have to come up with a different number 1.
No. Your number one is staying. I'm just from my perspective though. Nelly, he's not talked about enough. He's been out of the game for a while. But he did his thing, man. His "Hot in Here" was another. You talked about middle school song. It was
It
played
got
at every
Weird
dance.
Al. If your song gets Weird Al, it was what was it? What was his? I forget what his was. But yeah,
They're
he
called
had,
parodies.
yeah,
parodies,
Weird
yeah.
Al parodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nelly huge, man. He's an icon. He's a legend. But and also too, I just want to say, back then when he was coming out, he was really one of the only guys putting on for the Midwest. Early on it was Twista, it was Bone Thugs, but then in that late '90s, early 2000s, Nelly was the Midwest guy.
You know what's interesting though? He came in so southern and country, but on a geographical location, St. Louis is from the Midwest, so he was very just a
Down
unique.
there, yeah.
He was a very unique light, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I was going to talk about, I'll maybe expand on it more when I, put him up.
He's
in my
staying.
list.
He's staying your number one. That ain't changed.
He's still okay. I'll keep him as my number 1. I won't go into the real hard facts of why I think he's my most underappreciated, but I will say this: his versatility, man. The fact that he was able to do some super southern
You go find
dirty
me
style
in
shit
St. Louis, where I
to the
come
most
play.
polished pop records, and then to even going in the
over
country
and
route.
over again.
and then-
I say you
yeah.
over and over
again. I
Tim
can't
McGraw.
keep picturing you with him. That shit was at the gas. They were pumping gas in that video too. It
Let's
was like,
not forget, and I love you. Never
That was where Kelly
need you.
Rowland, she was all pissed off
Yeah.
that she texted a guy in Microsoft
Excel?
Excel,
On
and
the
then he never
two-way?
responded on the two-way.
Oh,
Yeah, if you ever
man.
catch that screenshot.
Yes.
Hey, that's whoever did the vision was like, hey, we need you to just look on an Excel sheet. We'll make it pretend like it's a text messaging app.
Had no idea of the internet at that stage. in
20
our
something
country,
years
yeah.
later, and people are still talking
Clowning
about it.
him.
All right, so yeah, my number 5 was Nelly. Going into my number 4, the Snake Style. I hate that I even have to mention him on my top most underappreciated. Big Sean.
Dude.
Damn it,
wow,
that's
I
my number
wouldn't-
4.
Drew?
I wouldn't have put him on
Yeah.
there. 'cause
So
he's
your
had
number
so
4
much
is my number 4,
success.
Drew?
Yes.
Okay. Here's what let me go into this. So Jared and I have talked about this, but I've seen not a lot of memes, but enough Big Sean dissing memes that it upsets me almost. Because I've seen memes where it's like, oh, Big Sean album, it's like someone rolling their eyes. I'm thinking, look, man, this guy, when he came out, when I graduated high school, 09, 2010.
I do it. I do it. Are you fucking kidding me? That, dude.
And
that
I-
alone.
And I just say, I dare anybody to tell me that the top 2 albums of, I think it was 2015, weren't 2014 Forest Hill Drives and then Dark Sky Paradise. And I
Dark
remember
Sky
that
Paradise was
specifically because
so
I was
good,
living
yeah.
with, shout out my boys, AO and AJ. We were living over here at Desert
Was that the-
Ridge.
Oh, you were in Desert Ridge?
We were,
Okay,
we
I
were living
thought
in
that
Desert
was-
Ridge, and
that was in
the
the
only
Central.
2 albums, whenever we went to the pool, whenever we pregame, the only 2 albums that were getting played was Forest Hills Drive and Dark Sky Paradise.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then you have that recent Kanye disrespect on Drink Champs. It's just like, fuck, dude. He definitely qualifies him for this list now.
yeah, like I said, I mean, I hate that I even have to put him on, but obviously Ear God saw the same thing, and yeah, I just want to say, shout out Big Sean. Congrats to him and Janae Aiko. They're about to have their first child together. I saw. So
Yes, sir.
again, Big Sean, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're a legend. You motivate me. I'll just end on that.
I mean, what's Detroit got? You got, like you said, Eminem, T Grizzly, and
4-2.
Big
Don't
Sean.
forget my boy
4-2,
4-2 Doug
4-2. Oh,
from
that
the
was close.
D.
I can't even whistle it right.
All right, Jared, who is your number?
My number 4.
Number 4.
I'm so glad you asked. So this is my one. This is my one more old school pick. It's cool because oftentimes if we're talking old school hip hop on this podcast, Dom probably put me on him. This is one that we both independently came to together, and just from what I've seen in the grand conversation of things, it's another one that's highly respected by those that are in the know, but most people aren't in that know. Is People Under the Stairs.
Oh.
I think that's.
Man.
I think if you're looking at
Technically, not to cut you off, that's a group, but
well, yeah, okay, no,
acceptable.
but
Yeah,
I-
we did.
but
We did. We
do
did say we're gonna
groups.
do ours, but that's a good one.
That
No,
is a
I
good one.
I actually have 2 groups on here, so I kind of fucked
Oh,
that up. But
alright, Jared,
I don't
fuck
think
that.
you
It's
should be
alright.
limited to just that. Well, I would have put
He didn't
B2K
understand
on
the
here, dog. I
assignment.
would have put B2K. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so yeah, sticking with that.
Minus Amarion.
Yeah. So yeah, I think NSYNC's underrated as fuck. No, no. Getting serious.
Alright.
People Under the Stairs. That 90s, early 2000s underground scene. I don't think they get the respect they deserve. Acid Raindrops, San Francisco Nights. They had that sound. They did it to a T. I think everyone around. Let's get Blaze's Herbal Essence. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Yeah, please go.
Can I just tell a story real quick?
Please.
First time I ever heard People Under the Stairs, I just moved to AZ. I was going to Scottsdale Community College. I had linked up, I was trying to make friends at that point, didn't know anybody. These 2 dudes from Minnesota had lived in Tempe, invited me over to their crib Friday night. We're sitting there chilling. Dude had, no joke, a 3-foot tall bong. Okay? I had never seen anything. Listen. I'm from the
3-foot
region,
tall
from
bong.
Indiana. I've done a lot of things, partook in a lot of things. A 3-foot bong was something I'd never done. Packing the bowl. As I'm hitting it, they have this loudspeaker system behind me, and the music from People Under the Stairs comes on. I exhale from the bong, and the song, I felt like I was part of the song, dude.
Let's have a
As
mid-city fiesta with your
Dude.
West LA connection.
Hop
Hop
up
inside
in your
the vehicle,
vehicle,
start
start
crossing
crossing
intersections.
intersections.
We learning life's lessons while we
Blaze
blaze
this
this herbal
herbal-
lessons.
listen. I'll end on that. That song from that moment changed me, and I was like, I'm in Arizona now. I'm no longer
That's
I'm
dope.
no longer Northwest Indiana.
They're
You're,
iconic.
you're Arizona native now.
Good.
That's
Good.
that's
good.
that's
I
dope.
appreciate
That's nice.
that. I
That's
appreciate
nice.
it. I appreciate it. All right,
Yeah.
that was my old school pick. The rest are more new school.
All right, Drew. We know what your number 4 is, but let's expand out a little bit more
All
on Big
right.
Sean.
So number 4, I chose Big Sean because Dom, like you had said, I feel like he just doesn't get the recognition, and like you said, some of the negative memes that are on the Twitter sphere, that are on Instagram, that are even on Facebook. I never become happy with them. The first song I ever heard Big Sean on was actually with Mike Posner. He was actually going to be one of my most honorable mentions as well. Um, just them two as a duo, when they just did music together, they were really close friends when they were coming up, when they met. And one of the first songs that I heard with Big Sean was "Smoke and Drive," and Mike Posner was on the hook. Absolutely loved that track. And then when I started seeing him coming out with like his mixtapes, and then he did Finally Famous with his debut album, I just felt like that was such an incredible album. The intro is probably that's top 10 favorite intros of all time for me.
If you ever watch him in interviews, or like I even watched put people on some game, Architectural Digest of all like random things on earth does these YouTube series that's like a classy cribs. But you go over to his house, you hear that, you hear about his relationship with and stuff. He meditates, like he's got his
I've seen
mental
that.
game on lock. Like he takes his life very seriously, and that's why when Kanye came at him, I thought I don't think a human being could have handled it better than he did on Drink Champs when he went on there. He basically was just like, unfortunate.
I think another thing why we connect with Big Sean so well, I'm pretty sure he's 31 years of age, which
That
is,
helps.
Yeah, we're the same.
Makes
Yeah,
a
we're the
diff-
same age. Yeah, so I feel like with him, we really grew up as he grew, and just the more we mature and the more things we get into and the more we
Same
find
with Wiz too. Yeah.
clarity in ourselves. Yeah, so I mean that's why I love a lot of those guys, because it was the first time I ever got to grow up with a set of artists, and what a better time in 2010 to 2022. Like incredible. I think if I were to meet any of these guys, if we ever are blessed to get them on the podcast,
They
and
will
they
be,
really
that's the goal.
appreciate what we do, it'd be to have those conversations. Like, man, it's really cool to grow up with them and be the same age and learn a lot of the same
And grow with them. Yeah.
growth. Yeah, it's just super dope. And then it was 24 Karat of Gold. That's probably one of my favorite Big Sean songs.
I like that. It's a good pick.
number
Yeah.
3, Drew. Number 3.
My number 3. So sorry, Jared, I don't have my shit on like how you did. Should
I
probably
know.
do that.
I had to do it. That's why I'm looking down early in the video.
All right, so so number 3, it's something we haven't done yet. We have not thrown a female in any of these honorable mentions or these lists so far.
This is true.
To me, she's just the dopest of the dope. The incredible connection she has to her fan base is super strong. The numbers she puts up is super dope. The fact that she went to a major label and she went independent, she got out of her deal, and she's being more successful than ever. And just seeing her grow, and also being Mexican and being Latina is just super dope. And that is Snow the Product is my number 3 pick.
Drew, once you said Latina, I knew where you were going, and I remember you and I went to that concert to see her.
Yeah, so
Y'all put
one
me
of the
on
first
some
concert
game right now.
yeah. So one of the first concerts that I went to when I got back from Florida after I graduated, I took Dom and I took my friend Sarah.
Where
She
was that
lived
even
out in,
at? I don't even
Plainfield.
remember. Somewhere in Illinois.
Yeah, so actually the show I went to at Adam's tour, it used to be called Mojo's, but now it's called The Forge,
Same
and it was in
place?
Joliet.
Oh,
It
okay.
was in the Joliet. It's the same venue. It looks literally almost just the same. So we went to, I think it was called Mojo's. I think it was called Mojo's. So we went there to go see Ritz when he was signed to Strange Music at the time. It was for his debut album, Live in Times of Johnny Valiant. Opening was Jared Benton, and then the middle act was Snow the Product, who was still pretty new. I don't even think she was signed yet to Atlantic. And then Ritz was the headliner. To me, that was probably one of my favorite shows, because that was my second show I went with you ever, and then it was just a really dope show.
Do you remember what happened during her performance with the teddy bear?
Yeah, so she had a big ass panda. It was like a
Peep
money
this.
panda.
Peep this.
It was a money panda that she would pass around to the crowd, and they would
A
like
stuffed-
surf crowd
like
with it.
Stuffed animal.
Yeah, and
I
this
remember
one
this.
asshole decided to take the head and ripped it, and the fluff started coming out.
No. Hold on. Here's what I remember.
But no, I'm about to
okay.
finish this. This is the part. I know exactly what you're talking about. So she basically
so
told
excited
us.
right now.
So she told the crowd before she threw out the money bear. She said, "You guys be careful. I just got him sewn up because somebody at another show decided to be whack and like rip the head off, and all the fluff started coming out. So she's like, just be careful with him and whatever. She's like, otherwise I'm gonna be pissed.
It's a vibe
So
killer.
she starts doing it. Like 3 seconds into passing it around, some asshole decided to rip the fucking head. Fluff goes everywhere. She saw the dude and she literally jumps into the crowd and tries to go fight that dude.
I love it. That's amazing.
Here's
yeah.
here's
that's
what I was
real.
gonna add. I remember the dude taking a knife. I remember we were standing in the back. She literally throws the stuffed bear in the crowd. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, like Drew said. I just remember this dude having a knife, and you just see stuffing coming out. And she like jumped in the crowd and
She
literally
jumped out
told
and went
people
after
to
him.
like jump this dude.
And she went after him too.
Kind of
Yep,
understandable,
she did.
but
And then she got back on stage
And
and finished her
performed.
set, and she was fucking dope.
that's pretty incredible. I love it.
Yeah, and bro, she's just one of those super firecracker. Like she's just an incredible just rapper. Number one, number two, she's got some really cool melodies. I've seen her do some really cool songs with kind of has some like R&B fusion into it. And then I just love too. She's just really engaging with her fans. Her podcast is super dope. It's called Everyday Days. And then actually, she was one of the first people to really brand Woke. That was like her clothing brand at the time before it
Was
became
Woke?
overused by
Really?
She had
Now
her
that's a
Woke
fun
clothing
fact.
line.
We got
Yeah,
a whole
bro. She
army
had
of
like
woke warriors
beanies,
out there.
t-shirts. Yeah, and then they had she had a whole crew. I think it was called
The city.
she had like
girls.
she had like a no she had like a she had a no it was her product pushers. That's what she called her fan base, was called product pushers. So yeah, so she had like
the
she had
original
this
Push
whole
and P.
yeah, right. Yeah, she was definitely the one pushing P for sure beforehand. And I don't know, I love the world that she created for herself, and she definitely put on for like, being Latina, being Mexican, and putting on for the Hispanic culture, but at the same time she
Viva
just
la
created her
raza.
own lane. Yeah, viva la raza.
Official number 3. I'm gonna go with K Camp. I think K Camp is someone that
That's a good
is
one.
wildly underappreciated. We're gonna talk songs right here. Let's talk about Money Baby.
Before you get to Money Baby,
Oh, go for it. Whatever you need.
Drew had 7 honorable mentions. If I would have went 2 more, K Camp would have been.
K
on my
Camp
list.
would have been there.
Continue, Money Baby.
K Camp's
And
up there for me.
actually, before you finish,
Don't forget Money
let's
Baby.
not forget my homie MJ Grizz, good friend of mine. I do monthly shows with him called the Grizz Volumes. He actually did a song featuring King Camp that was also featured on $1 Million Worth of Game. So I'm not trying to stunt on y'all. I'm not trying to stunt, but I'm gonna put on Within Range when the team goes
love it.
fucking go. Yes, we were on $1 Million Worth of Game. I think it was the second week when we did that song featuring K Camp.
It was
Wow.
the
It's
let
a
me
shake
let me
song.
remind. It was the Kodak episode
It was the Kodak
of $1
episode,
Million
yeah.
worth of game.
Oh, it was?
Where they
Then
played
We had
that
the
song
three-
in the
yeah.
intro.
Okay.
Yeah,
And Kodak
yeah, we had
was
Song
there.
of the Week.
He was there with the buzz cut.
Yes,
Kodak.
sir.
Fresh out.
Iconic. Fresh out.
Yeah.
Fresh
We
out
had
the box.
song of the
Street
we had Song of the Week on the 3 biggest episode, which is Kodak, Lil Durk, and Alicia Keys.
Song. Wow. That Alicia Keys episode's dope too.
Hard.
Should we smoke a-
Yes,
hey,
sir.
smoke a joint
Yes,
on
sir.
there? Yeah, she's cool.
Man.
All right, my bad. But go back with K Camp.
No, okay, K Camp. I mean, he's one of those guys. Again, there's like an interesting point, right? Like, there might be some people that are listening to this and are like, "Holy shit, yeah, I forgot about K Camp. Like, what's he like? That are like, yeah, he probably is underappreciated. He had some good stuff." And then there's other people that be like, "What are you talking about? He's underappreciated. He's the shit." Da 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 da. So maybe you could debate where I rank him here, but I love him so much. So Money Baby, Cut Her Off, Slum Anthem, Turn Up for a Check, Lottery. Most recently, and I think he has a new single out right now. I'm blanking on the name right now. I think he has a new song out, but the guy's iconic. I think he is from Atlanta,
Correct.
And so, you can be a pretty big fish and still not be the biggest fish in that pond. So I understand that he's not on the level of like Future or someone else that's like from that city right now. But K Camp deserves the respect. He makes bangers. He's still making bangers. He's been making them for what, a decade now. I mean, he
Consistent.
started 2010 probably about is when I think he first kind of came into my consciousness. And dude, 10 years in the game, that's solid. You need to respect that, and I don't think he gets it. So
I think he's an artist. Like, he's just one of those people you always respect, but you somehow always forget to put on the list.
dude, and he's like he's also. I would probably classify him as a rapper mostly, but he's got an R&B tinge to him too. Like, he's got that R&B element, and so
His melodies are
his
infectious.
melodies and
Yeah.
his rapping, like
I got some K
he
Camp on
kills
the
it, dude.
on
He's
the
infectious,
I got him on some of his songs on the Baby Make It playlist.
dude. Cash on me, like that lottery sick, dude. Oh, Turn him for a check. Come
That's how I know you're a real one, dog. K Camp on the most. I literally had him again. If I would have went Drew style and went crazy with the honorable mentions, he would have been mentioned.
Jared, you are literally like the epitome of what a B-side vinyl would be.
That's why he's on Within Range.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's why he is within range.
Dude,
Yeah,
K
bro,
Camp is
we
just,
need to get you. We need to get you your own Spotify playlist and call it Snoop Eastwood's B-side.
B-sides.
Yeah, let's do
Dude,
it.
okay, all
Bro,
right.
let's stamp that.
Hey, drop a
Let's
comment
do
if you'd
that.
listen. If
Hey,
you
well-
if you'd listen.
I've said. Remember when I said it has the Jared stamp? How many times have I said that?
Yeah.
I said if it's got the Jared stamp, like if Jared sends
If
me
it's
a
in my
text,
domain of expertise. Otherwise, I'll fully be like, I don't know nothing. Like if it's old school, I won't speak on it. That's
Yeah.
I'll just say if Jared's sending me a text in the middle of my workday with a YouTube link or a Apple song to listen
It's
to,
on the bat phone for sure.
I'm
That's a
gonna
different
I'm gonna
line.
tell everyone I'm talking to pause for a minute. I'll say hold on a sec, and then I'll listen to it, and then I'll come back to it later. So
Yeah,
the
Jared's
call.
the certified underground minter.
Oh, dude. So I'm sorry. We're
Minted
only on my
NFTs.
we're only on my third. Oh wait,
yeah, let's get through it.
we were.
And
on
then
my
you got the
third?
plus one.
Was that my third?
Yeah, that was
so
your
I only
third.
have 2 left.
Yeah, we only after mine we only have each 2 left.
Oh,
All right, so let's get into it.
I fucked up. Okay.
Okay.
I fucked
All
up.
good,
You
man. Hey, remember I told you don't worry about the list. Don't worry about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
numbers.
Yeah,
We're
it's
good,
okay. Well, it's okay because I had more than I thought there. So,
Cool.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. My number 3, Damon's number 3 most underappreciated hip hop artist of all time. I'm going old school with this one. Some call him the godfather of gangster rap on the West Coast. I'm talking about Mr. Ice-T.
wow, I love this pick.
Thank you. I'll just say this. I watch a lot of documentaries. I watch a lot of, YouTube videos, history. History's always been one of my favorite subjects. Part of the reason why we are on Within Range to learn the history of artists, music in general. Ice-T will typically be featured on your hip-hop documentaries. He'll always be giving commentary because he was, original. But I feel like he just isn't talked about enough when they talk about some of the originators and founders of it. I mean, NWA is credited as being, the founding group of gangster rap, but Ice-T was doing it
Ice-T.
before them.
Yes. Completely not talked about. An icon. I completely agree with you. And he's lost in the Ice Cube.
Well, so it's that, and he was even the lead singer. For those of you who don't know, shout out Tangelic Relic again for putting me onto this. He was the lead singer of a punk rock band. I don't know the name of the band, so I'm not gonna sit here in front of y'all. But
That's
YouTube
crazy.
it,
Okay.
and you could see, dude, the videos.
Jamie, I'm gonna pull that
Yeah.
up.
Pull it up
okay.
right now, dude. He's headbanging, and his hair's all wild, and he's just rocking out, jumping in mosh pits.
See, that's dope because that fits more like the Public Enemy era too, and they really fuck with that rock scene too because they did those that know Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, okay, Anthrax and Public Enemy,
You know about that track?
dude. Are you kidding
that
me?
track
dog?
is legendary.
Peace. How low
Low
could
do
you
you
go?
go?
It was called Body Count.
Drew, hold on. Stop, Drew. Yes, the name
was
of
called
his
Body
group was
Count.
called Body Count, and dude, they were hardcore. Cause you think
that's incredible.
Ice-T's raps are hardcore? His rock group
Was way more. Cut my life into. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn, why you gotta put Papa Roach in there?
Hey,
leave,
yeah, I love
leave
Papa
Papa Roach
Roach,
for a
dude.
whole
I
nother
love
episode, bro. They iconic though.
Tear my heart
Jared, you always know how to throw in a fucking wicked curveball. What the
Oh, dude, you should see what's.
Throw a
you
lighter
should
up
see
for
how
Jared.
you should see how my brain works, dude. It's a bummer up there sometimes, dude.
All right, so I just want to get through it. Number 2 on the most underappreciated
This is
hip hop
huge. We're
artist of
getting
all
deep.
time, another old school artist, the originator, the GOAT, the legend, and I feel like he may get overshadowed too because at the time of the record label he was on, which was Def Jam, but I'm talking about LL Cool J, Mr. Todd Smith.
Wow. Wow, I gotta think about that one for a sec. 'cause-
People put a lot of disrespect on his name, and I don't like it.
I'm gonna let me do this. You guys say what you want, and then I'll go the rest of mine, and we'll move on.
I'll say this. I know a little bit of his music. I don't know as much as I should, but he's a highly referenced artist in at least a lot of modern hip hop people still even cool like LL, like, you know what I mean? Like cool that's what what is Kodak says that. Cool and LL, you know what I'm saying? So he shouts him out. I think real people recognize what LL Cool J is, but again, another guy that went into the acting game. Like, how could you possibly not respect someone for branching out, like being a hip hop artist and then just branching out into a prolific television and movie career?
Deep Blue
SWAT,
Sea.
shout out Deep Blue Sea,
Deep Blue
SWAT.
Sea.
I think
That's
he's in
classic.
SWAT too, right?
That's a
SWAT.
cult class. That's a cult
Dude,
classic.
dude, Deep Blue Sea.
SWAT was a good one too.
Come on now. Who
Same-
slept on?
Shout out Samuel L. Jackson. That's another sleeper
Gets
movie,
eaten
dude.
by a shark
Yeah, he
movie.
does, dude. A motherfucking shark. Yeah, wow, what a good one. LL Cool J, dude.
I think with LL, he's kind of been somebody that has done very successful songs, but it's like they only hit the surface and people don't really think about like those moments because he kind of always comes in these in between tides. Like to me, was it Headsprung? I think that was
Oh,
like
man,
one of
you're
his big
talking-
records of like the mid
You're
2000s.
talking about his
Sprung,
late career.
That was gonna say that was late. I do remember
that was like
that
his
was a
that was
bang,
like
though.
his
That was a
second
bang.
yeah, that was like his second or third leg of his career, and then he did the deepest blue is my head is like a shark's fin. Like talk
Hard
yeah, bro,
track,
talk
dude.
about an original soundtrack.
Yeah,
To
I
me,
forgot about that one,
I would
Drew.
say
Yes.
I would
Who
say
pulls?
that'd be a top. We should also do one of these top 10 soundtrack songs in hip hop. So like
Write it down.
Romeo Must Die,
But
Cradle to the
don't,
Grave. like-
don't you're giving away
Yeah.
your list because
Gone
as
in
soon as you
60
said
seconds,
that,
the remake.
as soon
I'm
as
just-
as
I'm
soon
just-
as you
no, yo,
said
I'm just
that,
talking
I
movies.
I
I'm not
just
even talking about the
thought- I just
songs.
thought of like 3 different movie soundtracks off the bat.
Exactly.
Lord of the
anyways, yeah.
Rings. No, I'm just kidding.
He's just had like incredible runs even in the 80s and then the 90s. He's just, to me, he's always just been super iconic. I just feel like he just doesn't get the flowers that he deserves. But I love the fact that someone like Eminem always respects his craft. Mama said knock you out.
Listen, legend. Don't forget
I don't
the
need
wall.
nothing when I'm on radio. No, that was a Run DMC track, wasn't it?
Or
was that
no?
LL?
He said that in one of a track, and then Run DMC like copied it.
Copied it, okay.
What did you say before that? The weed is getting to me. What did you say right before?
Mama said knock
Yeah.
you out.
So that song, a lot of people forget with Boys to Men. Hey lover, hey lover, hey lover. Listen, we can also do an R if we
Baby
want to go
making.
into R&B. But let me just say this about LL, and then we'll move on to Jared. Talk about style. He was wearing Kangol hats. He was repping Cuban link gold chains in the late 80s. He dropped. So Beastie Boys dropped in like 86. I want to say Todd dropped in like 86 or 87. So again, Def Jam was big. Rick Rubin, they all put him on. But not only was he like a fashion statement, but like the song, man, you go back and listen to the I'm Bad album. Nobody can rap quite like I can. I'll take a muscle bound man and put his face in the sand. Like the last mafioso, I'm the MC Wop. Make him say go L up, dude. Just hard. And he was chiseled. Yeah, he had the fucking six pack.
Yeah, always been in shape like Mario Lopez his whole life, dude. Like Mario Lopez of the hip hop game, dude.
I would say LL has definitely been a part of the fitness culture, like before it became popular to make synonymous with rap culture and.
I feel like
fitness.
50 carried that torch too. 50 is iconic. I mean, the 50 sit-ups, like the Into Club video.
Hold
is
on, hold
like,
on. 50 Cent, I just want to say about LL. Him and Jamie Foxx did get into it on the set of Any Given Sunday.
That's one of my favorite.
one of the best, one of my favorite football
Yeah.
movies of all time. So the scene,
iconic speech.
Let me just say this: that movie got so intense that the scene where LL actually like punches Jamie Foxx was real.
That was a real punch.
Jamie Foxx talks about it in the I Might Need Security stand-up, which is another thing we can do as a category of great comedies of all time. But Jamie Foxx talks about it. He goes, he hauled off and hit me. He said, I thought we were acting. He said, this dude was being for real. Todd just took it too far.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
they used to like their security and entourage used to get into it and stuff on sets and shit like
Yep.
that. Yeah, there's some really cool interviews about things that happened during that movie. But I think that's what goes to the contrary of why that movie was so good,
Okay.
where commercially it didn't do well, but just from like a cultural standpoint, you could tell there was just some like I don't know, there was just some ruggedness. I feel like with LL, I feel like he really brought like his true roots of like, yo, he was from the streets, like he really bought that life.
And let me just say this: Any Given
Success
Sunday,
don't make a shit.
directed by Oliver Stone, Al Pacino, Dennis Quaid as the aging quarterback, Jamie Foxx, LL. You had Bill Bellamy as a receiver. Dog.
The
Anyways,
speech. The Al
Cameron
Pacino
Diaz was in the
speech,
movie?
The Al Pacino speech. The inches we need.
yeah.
are all around
you do
us.
what you're fucking told. Yeah, dude.
Isn't Cameron Diaz in the
Iconic.
movie too?
Yes, Cameron Diaz is the owner.
Hey.
Is like the
Hey,
owner of
all
the
right,
team.
we got to do one best
Man.
sports
Baddest
movies.
crushes of the 90s.
Yeah, see, we're
Sports
just going on
movies.
about
Crushes
movies,
in the
dude.
90s,
We
yeah.
could easily do one. All right,
All right, we got
let's
to
go.
get in my number 2. All right,
go.
we're getting deep, boys. My second place, most underappreciated, and they could be number 1, but I feel a lot more strongly about number 1. Atmosphere. Do either of you mess with them?
Atmosphere from Minnesota, right? I believe?
Minnesota, the
Okay.
Rhyme Sayers Entertainment.
Wow.
I don't think people understand the extent of what these gentlemen have done. I think at one point early on it was 3 gentlemen. It's now Slug and Ant, and it's been that way for a long time. Excuse me. They've been making music. I had to make sure I got everything down. First legit album came out in 97. Okay? That's early. I mean, that's not like the foundation of hip hop, but 97 is very early on. So longevity in the game basically came out with an album a year after that until about 2011. I had the pleasure of seeing them live in Tucson, met Slug. He came out, met every single human being in line. It was really cool before the show started. Went out there, met everyone. Okay, so why do I like them? Incredibly deep, right? Kind of like along the Tech Nine thing that you were talking about, Drew. Like, that's someone that's completely independent and has made a record label, a music business for themselves. Like, they have their own career. They've put on for other artists. Not a city that you would ever associate hip hop with, really. Like Minneapolis. I couldn't honestly name anyone else.
Shout out the
from
Mall
there.
of America.
Yeah, shout out the Mall of America. Fun fact: I saw Skrillex, Porter Robinson, and Zed in Minnesota.
Such a dope ass lineup.
Yeah, for like $15 in like 2010, I think it was. It was.
Oh, that was before, because that was before they were popular.
Yeah, it
That
was like
before
2000. Skrillex was
really blew up.
fresh out of From First to Last, the punk band he was in. Anyways,
The
that's a
punk band, yeah.
different-
Oh, so that was before he did My Name is. Was it I Am
Oh, it was
Skrillex or
before-
My
This
Name
was
is
Scary
Skrillex?
Monsters and Nice Sprites. Yeah.
Oh, actually, so cool story about Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. First studio I ever walked into that wasn't like at school. That was the first song I heard on a set of studio monitors.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Okay, so
epic.
So for Atmosphere,
Oh,
reason I love them, they make, you've got kind of watched his evolution. He has a kid. He's had his own battles, I think, with substances and here and there, or like just like the tour life in general, maybe not like in an official level. I think a rough relationship with his dad and stuff, but so makes everything from like these party bangers to like incredibly deep songs. So if I had to like list out songs that I think you should listen to, Smart Went Crazy, probably the number one, just like song that everyone knows from them. So Smart Went Crazy, number one. But the one I really want to highlight is called Little Man. Okay, Little Man I would put this on the Dancing with the Devil, Immortal Technique level of like deepness in hip hop. Like that song is like Immortal Technique's horrifying. Like that song, sorry, Dancing with the Devil's horrifying, but like speaks to you on a spiritual level because it's so deep. This song is the same dude. Slug writes a letter to his son, himself, and his father. And like those are the 3 verses in the song.
Whoa.
And it's like him talking to his son. He's like, hey, like, I know, I know it's hard to get your attention. You're trying to get your video game grind on. That's fine. But like he talks to his son. Incredible. He talks to himself and he's just like really hard on himself about like his drinking and this and that, or like, the tour life and doing what he had to do. Talks about his dad and like how he's like thankful for his dad's flaws and how he'll never do some things because of what he saw his dad did, and like, in a way of respecting him. Dude, just gives me chills thinking about it. Sunshine by Atmosphere, number 1 hangover song of all time. It's about him being hungover. he's basically like falls out his front patio and sees he has a bicycle out there and just kind of starts riding his bike hungover, and the outdoors gets him going. So check out Atmosphere. It's one of those things a lot of people don't know him, completely underappreciated on a national scale. But if you go to Minnesota, they motherfucking know who Atmosphere is. If you say that, you're well on your way to getting in with them. I guarantee it. But super underappreciated.
Nice.
All right, number 2. This man has done so much for my life. The culture of rap music. He's changed the recording industry forever, or at least as up until now. It's already been
I'm
over
scared.
a decade long.
Who is this?
People put too much disrespect on his name. One of the most prolific artists that we consider now had put on for so many artists, but he didn't even give the credit for this man to pave the way for him to do so. Yeah, man, I just got a lot of love for him. I mentioned him earlier in the podcast for his prolific top hats. When that man is T-Pain.
Dude,
Teddy
that's a
Pendergrass.
great.
Let's get the claps. Let's get the claps.
Teddy Pendergrass.
I was
What a
nervous
great
for a second.
Teddy
That was incredible.
Pendergrass.
Yeah, Teddy.
Man.
Yeah,
Yes.
Teddy.
100%
T-Pain.
agree with
Wow.
this.
Teddy Payne,
I'm drinking. Yeah.
T.
I'm
Wayne.
drinking to that one.
the man that invented the
Your
word
guys-
Wisconsin.
this is
Whoever
why
would have
your
thought
guys
that
within range.
put you in a mansion somewhere in Wisconsin, and then Wisconsin made a day for him
Wisconsin.
at the Wisconsin Festival.
somewhere in
Wisconsin.
Dude.
Talk about a story arc played out in real time.
Teddy
and living out
Pendergrass
the best
done.
dreams. Number two, so here are the couple things about T-Pain.
Oh man, we could spend the whole.
That here's
arms and legs are within the ride
Yeah.
at all times.
yeah, shit. Put your lighter up for T-Pain.
Bro.
So 3 things he's done recently that
Sorry, I can't help it. I'm so you're gonna get interrupted. I can't. It's ad lib.
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think of Tom
Talk
Haverford from Parks and Rec. Shawty.
Dude, talk about a game changer.
Dude.
T-Pain.
I got a few T-Pain stories, so
Dude.
I'm gonna shut up because otherwise I'm gonna be really disruptive.
I'm gonna
'cause
try to keep 'em
passionate.
brief 'cause I wanna
go
hear
for it,
these,
'cause
'cause
I
I wanna
got
hear
at
this.
least
All
a
right.
couple T-Pain stories.
So 3 things as of recent that T-Pain has done that has completely given me a whole newfound respect for him and know that he's got a whole second half of his career to go after. Number 1, the fact that the state of Wisconsin made a day for T-Pain, and he did a Wisconsin festival.
That's unbelievable, and like that's
And the
that's
day
a part
of
of
the
meme
festival-
culture. Yeah.
The day of the festival, they called it T-Pain Day because he did the respect of rhyming somehow, some way.
got a mansion
with Wisconsin.
Somewhere in Wisconsin. I mean, that is. It's like.
And I will forever love T-Pain for that. It is one of the greatest one-liners in rap music that anybody can feel related to.
Let me just stop.
Number 2.
Who else is talking about this? No one else is talking about the Wisconsin. Keep going.
Number two, the fact that he won the very first season of Masked Singers.
I didn't know that.
And he did it. Yeah, so in
I
the,
never
in
watched
the
a
first season of
single
Masked,
episode of Masked Singers.
Do you know what it is?
yeah.
I know what it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Never seen a single ep though.
So and then, if you've ever seen the documentary about different cultural impacts in music
On Netflix.
I can't
And
remember what it's called.
Yep, they did an episode with Backstreet Boys, and then one episode was T-Pain. I know exactly
It's
what you're
T-Pain,
talking
and it
about.
was based around autotune.
Yep.
The story arc of how autotune has played out from its inception
Mm-hmm.
to what it is now, and the fact that the owner of Antares at the time refused to give any credit for T-Pain to completely explode their stock, their popularity, and the use of the tool is just blasphemous. And number 2, I finally realized why I've never given Kanye West the credit he deserves.
You haven't?
He's not even top 10 of my favorite rappers.
Man.
I'll give him top
That's a
5 in
shame.
my producers.
Okay.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is definitely in my top 10
So do you
favorite
not agree
albums
that
of all
he should have
time.
been on the Mount Rushmore episode that we did then, or what are we talking about?
No, I don't think he should be on the.
Okay.
And my personal vendetta of why
I
is
personally
because
think
of
he's
how
the-
disrespectful of. I'll say this. I think it's personally because of how he disrespected T-Pain. He created 808s and Heartbreak
Yeah, I remember this story.
with the intent of being inspired by what T-Pain did with rapper Trent Sanga. Laughed in his face for how he did his shit. He made 808s and Heartbreaks in his own idea, and that spawned the birth of people like Kid Cudi, Drake, So Far Gone, all that very peculiar sound that we know and love today. It's one of my favorite sounds, and I will always lead it back to T-Pain and never Kanye West. So
I'll just say this: my opinion, Kanye is the greatest producer of all time. people say what they want about artistry, but when it comes to producer and you look at his catalog, crazy. But wow.
Another thing I love about T-Pain too, let's not forget this, his product placement of like stuff he made popular. Mini Coopers with 20-inch rims,
I
Nuvo,
don't remember the Mini Cooper.
Oakley
Drew-
sunglasses.
The Oakleys.
Hold
The
on, stop.
Oakleys.
Nuvo.
That was all
Dude,
me.
in high school, I know we can't really be talking about we were drinking in high school. Every high school party that Drew pulled up to, he had a bottle of Nuvo.
And a Mini Cooper on them dubs.
They have the Mini
I wish I
Cooper.
had the Mini
But
Cooper.
dog, Drew literally, I didn't know what that was until Drew started bringing it to these high school parties. And everyone that was asking, we're in high school, we're like, what is this shit, dude? It's like a fancy pink bottle. Your God was strolling.
that was made famous from the Blame It video featuring Jamie Foxx and
Blame it on
Jake Gyllenhaal was actually in the music video, and Forrest Whitaker was in the music video.
Teddy P. Listen, I'm not even gonna go into my own T-Pain stories because again, we'll be here forever. But Drew, great, underappreciated artist.
Hell yeah.
Great one,
T-Pain.
man. Hey, listen, if Teddy P was number 2, I can't imagine what number 1 is.
Well, I already said what my number 1 was. It was your number like 4.
Oh, it was
No, it was your number 5. It was Nelly.
Nelly. Okay,
Nelly
let's talk.
numero uno,
Let's
yeah.
talk again about it.
So yeah, number 1 was for me was Nelly. There's never been an artist, at least that I know of, that had 2 back-to-back classics that sold successfully well, and not only from just the stance of being rap going into pop, having hit records, being able to feature with a plethora of different artists in country, in rap, in pop, in modern day rap music, and I don't know anybody that's ever really shit on Nellyville or Country Grammar.
How could you?
Those to me, those
Yeah.
2 albums have stacked up with so many others. To be honest, and also too,
I'm going down,
was like-
down, baby. I
Yeah.
mean, dude,
Hey, off
everybody was
off
singing
a
that.
sweatsuit. Come
Yeah.
on over to my place. Dude,
Jaheim?
With Jaheim, yes.
With Jaheim, yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Hey, that was the era
Um,
when like pimping all over the world. I feel like that's a Luda song people sleep on, dude. I mean,
That was a- yeah, that was a great
that whole
song.
era was.
My
that
brother
whole
put
era
me
was,
onto that
like,
one for sure.
Yeah, that whole era was. I'm trying to think what else was that Black Eyed Peas were popping then too. Yeah, that was a good era.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, I loved. So when people compare like both albums, Country Grammar and Nellyville, like which one's better? So as much as I love Country Grammar and I love the records that were on there, I was too young to really enjoy it the way that I wanted to. But when Nellyville came out, I was in 7th grade when it came out. Mind you, this was during my years where I was infatuated with record labels. I had the first chain I ever got as a gift was a Cash Money Records chain. It was like the one they used to have in the 99 2000 with the black onyx on the back. My Aunt Sylvia got me like a miniature version. I used to wear that. She got me the Nellyville CD, and I used to have this CD disc changer, and I used to just play Nellyville all the fucking time. Cedric the Entertainer as the narrator. Just
Cedric.
I remember.
had
I remember.
had
King, right?
yeah, had the Lunatics on there, had Justin Timberlake, had
Shout out Murphy Lee.
Murphy Lee, dog, and then had Rock the Mic, the remix. I think I had Beanie Siegel on it. Then you had Kelly Rowland on, of course.
The Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, the Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, what was that song called? Damn,
Kelly Rowland. It was
no matter what I do.
no matter what I do, all I think about
It was a Dilemma. Yeah, it was Dilemma.
Nice. Good
Yeah,
pull.
I would say my favorite record on that album was probably "Work It" with Justin Timberlake. That just was just a superly unique sounding song. So, and honestly too, that's probably one of my favorite mixed albums of all time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. My number 1, I could not possibly leave this man off the list. One of the greats of hip hop agrees with me on this, as I'll get into in a second. Big Crit. I'm talking about that country shit. I'm talking about
What'd
one
I
of the
tell
most.
you?
I'm talking about one of the most.
What did I
I'm
tell
talking
you?
about one of the most multifaceted, musically talented producer, rapper, singer. Okay, we're talking a man that makes soulful music. He makes
Yes, sir.
bangers. He makes music with Ludacris. He makes music with what you mean? What you mean is
What you mean
What you
that
mean
ain't
you
nasty? That's
Luda.
Ludacris.
That's it. Yeah.
Ludacris.
Country
Why
shit.
the fuck you can't?
Freddie Gibbs. Okay. Songs. Mount Olympus. Yeah. What you mean? Country
Mount
shit.
Olympus was so raw.
Dude, play the game. He has a Tiny Desk performance, fairly recent, I think, too. I'm not sure. Yeah, he has a Tiny Desk performance. I had to look up some stuff. Some of this I knew, but there's some deeper cuts when you're talking about quantifying things. So one thing I want to start out with before I get into what I had to look up: XXL Freshman, huge. And then another just sign of credibility. Drink Champs, Waka Flocka was on there. Waka was on there.
I didn't see
Bro,
that.
Waka, Big Crit is Waka's #1 underappreciated artist. He said Big Crit is that guy.
Whoa.
He goes, Big Crit is that guy. He can do anything. His vibe, he's no one has a bad thing to say about Big Crit. Okay, so here's what I'd look up, dude. Listen to this. Across his entire mixtape, 13 mixtapes, album, 3 albums. Big Crit has released 318 tracks. He has a production credit on 71.1% of those. So 226 out of the 318 tracks he helped produce. And 70% of them he produced alone. 225 of those. 226, dude. Okay.
Wow.
Of the 92 songs he has no credit in, 12 of them came in a 12 for 12, which was a freestyle mixtape. So that, obviously those were freestyles over an existing beat. So factor that in, it's even a little bit higher. It's like probably like basically 3/4 of his entire catalog that man has produced. And about 70, 60 something percent of that, he produced it himself. That's underappreciated in this day and age.
Wow.
Yeah. And the first 3 projects he did to me are, I would say he's probably one of the very few, if not only artists in my opinion, that's done in the mixtape era, that's done 3 back-to-back-to-back classics. Crit was here, Returner Forever,
Yep.
and Forever
Yep.
Today, complete classic mixtapes
Yep.
to me. Yeah.
I'll just say this. I remember before I knew you, Drew was trying to put me on a Big Crit. I know about him, and then I met you, and you were putting me on a Big Crit. I need to go back and listen because
Country shit, dude. Country
Yeah,
shit with
oh,
him
I
and
know.
Luda. Ooh, that's up there with Georgia by Luda.
Superfly, dirty, dirty,
Country
dirt,
fire,
cold,
dun,
muddy
dun, dun.
water.
Yeah. dude. Dom, let's hear it, dude. I'm
All right.
ready. I'm excited. I couldn't.
I'm really excited. to hear
You
number
haven't
one,
had
man.
a conflict yet, and we've covered a lot of ground. Dude.
Well, it's crazy because the guy I'm about to talk about literally was just mentioned, and he's been mentioned. I think I've been trying to keep track at least twice else, but some people may not feel he is underappreciated. I definitely think he is, and I don't think it's said and mentioned enough that he is talked about. And also too, I learned that there was a rumor apparently that when Drake first came in the game, that Drake stole this man's style and delivery. And I'm talking about Ludacris.
Oh, that's a good one.
So,
That's underappreciated. Yeah.
I mean, if you
Wait,
go back,
what? Drake though?
I do a YouTube, do a Google search. I've heard a few different
I
things
can
that,
see-
that some people were quoted as saying that when Drake first came in the game, some people thought he kind of sounded like Ludacris in terms of his delivery and his flow. Drew, have you heard this, or
It's just
you're
that
about to
data
say
flow.
something?
I've never heard this, but I can. So how early? So I can think of
I could
when he
see
came
it
out
now.
with
Damn,
Comeback
yeah.
Season. I can see some of the metaphors he was using, the way he would deliver punchlines. To me, it's
That's
like
what they said. The
Even in, like,
punchlines.
rollout,
he,
like,
he made some of them really comedic, but like very lightweight than what Luda would do. Luda's just super brash, like in your face. But I think Drake did it like combination of spectrum of like Ludacris with like the bluntness of certain
Mhm.
lines, but he did it in a smooth with like Fabulous, the way Fabulous did it. Fab just kind of just slid it
point.
in there and just like didn't make too much of it. So I could see that, but if you notice when he started getting into like Thank Me Later, first debut album, his flow started to have some bit of a different change, and then by the time Take Care came out, we saw a totally different side of him.
Yeah,
So I
iconic
think
album.
I think he listened in certain ways because we never got to hear that Drake again. To me, that was like a very, very dope Drake that just was like, it seemed fresh, it seemed new, even though it may not have been. He just did it in a way that was just himself, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Dude, Luda.
Ju-
But Luda's a good one. Bro,
That's
he had so
incredible.
many good albums, good records, just smash hits. Like put on. To me, I feel like he put on Atlanta
Very early
on
on.
a
Welcome to
commercial
Atlanta
map.
where the players play, where we land, dude.
Dude,
come
I
on,
got
man.
that blueberry yum yum and
Bro,
it's that fire.
So
Yeah,
let me
that's
just say,
one of
so
my- that's one of my
that's what
favorites.
that's why I want to hit it. The hits. I mean, Nikki and I literally just went and saw him down at Wild Horse Pass
stop.
earlier this month.
I'm
and bro,
upset.
Let me
that
just say,
wasn't
I
there.
know. I don't know why I didn't even
Yeah,
like
dude,
why we didn't tell you.
literally,
about it. I know.
Top 5 on my list that I would go see right
Dude,
now.
so Nikki was the one that got the tickets, and bro, like I'm telling you, there was people. I'm in my 30s. I'm 31 years old. There was people younger than me, and people I would say up into their 50s and 60s. He had everybody up dancing. You forget the bangers. Drew mentioned earlier, when I'm pimping all over the world, you want to start,
Well,
so
that was me. I
dance.
mentioned
Don't make me
pimping
think
all
I
over
want to
the
get
world.
in the pants. See me, my pimping is 3D. I'm taking you places you only see on TV.
On TV.
Fancy
Right?
cars,
And let's not
the
forget,
women in the
we could do it
caviar.
on the library on top of books, but you can't be too loud. We could do it in the White House, trying to make them to the lights out. Champagne with my campaign. Let me do your man thing, dude. Come on,
What's
man.
my name?
Is that
What's
your
my name?
wife, your
Girlfriend,
girlfriend, or just your main bitch?
Bro,
Dude,
Bro, he had What's Your Fantasy? He had
dude.
Waterfalls.
dude,
he had
He's
the
got that song
Austin
with-
Powers.
yes,
the
I'm
Austin
coming
Powers
for the
with
number one spot. Why
Woo.
not, man? I'm coming
Coming for that
dude.
number 1 spot. Woo.
I will
Yeah,
also
yeah,
say too he
woo.
would I will also say he will definitely be in the top 10 soundtrack
rappers turned actors
songs with
too.
Act a Fool.
Act a
from,
fool. You want to dude?
from,
Yeah,
uh,
with
Too
Too
Fast, Too
Fast, Too
Furious.
Furious. Yeah, and he was in that. Taj. That was
Yeah,
his
he
first.
was in it,
That was the
yes.
first time he entered into the Fast and Furious world. I remember he was
Dude.
running. He was running boat races. Remember, he was like,
Yes.
he's like, who want their
Yes.
money back?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Remember
Bro,
when he
bro.
did the boat races?
Do you remember
Come
that?
on,
Do you
that's some
remember-
deep shit right there.
Get back in the video
Oh,
where he had the big
dude,
fist
yeah.
and he was
Big
taking a
muscle.
piss at the urinal. The guy's like, "Hey, Ludacris, man, let me get an autograph, man. Let me get it going." It's super annoying and shit. He's like, "Yee, woo, woo. I ain't playing around, man." Bro, all time
also-
pump up song.
And
That's a
then
gym player song.
also too, not to mention, this is how iconic he is. He was also a part of, to me, in my personal opinion, one of the top 3 hip hop movies of all time. Hustle and Flow.
Oh,
he was in that.
Skinny.
Wow.
He was skinny.
Skinny Black.
Skinny black.
Skinny
And
Black.
he got whooped up in the bathroom, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Skinny-
let me also
You mean
say
to tell me this shit fell out your pocket?
yeah. Let me also say this. Y'all might forget that he was in the Oscar award winning film Crash.
Oh, he was in Crash. Oh
He
my,
was. Mm-hmm.
forgot
Dog.
with oh my
Let's
God,
do a
what's the-
movie
what's that dude's name
our
with the
backup
comeback?
is a movie podcast. Oh, he
Is
was
it
Lorenz
Sean
Tate.
Penn? Yeah.
Lorenz Tate was the guy he was running with, and I remember they stole the Escalade, and they get in the car, and Lorenz Tate puts the Jesus statue up, and he goes into his rant. Ludacris, he's like,
Dude.
why do you put that up on there? He's like, you know, Jesus wasn't a black man, and just Ludacris, man. So, anyways,
Luda's
my
iconic.
numero uno. It seems like you guys.
I love Luda. No, I
guys
love it.
get it?
Couldn't respect it any more
Absolutely
than I
agree
do.
with it.
Yeah,
Love it.
I love it.
Love it.
All right, fellas, yo,
That was a wrap.
we did this.
The-
Dude, we are.
I'll say
truly
this.
hip hop.
forever.
Dude, we are truly hip hop. Like, I wish someone would try to be like, you guys want to like enter like a contest about your like hip hop knowledge? I'd be like, yep, and I'll be like, how much is
Yeah,
the
most
fee?
definitely.
Yeah, okay, we're in. Whatever, dude.
No shit, you need to pay us to enter. motherfucker.
I would love
Give
to
you some of the knowledge.
What time is it?
Dude, talk about that 10:30 almost.
Is it really?
So
Damn.
let's see.
Is it
we've
12
been
is it
recording
12:30 my time?
for-
Damn.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, 165.
Dude, you were right. Once we hit the pen, it was a different level.
I don't know what he's talking about.